All right, hey, how y'all doing out there? It's the Crook Report. Um, so I do have a guest today on my show, and let me tell you before I introduce my guest, let me just tell you that how the Crook Report came about. When I was a working man in my career, um, we would sit around and we would talk, football, and that's one of the things that me and some of the guys said we wanted to start our own podcast, and man, and it was years and years and years. And so finally, I said, you know what, heck, I'm finna go and get it going. So, and here it is, the Crook Report. So anyway, that's just the, how we started. So I have a young man to my right here, and one of the things we wanted to do was like give the young athletes a little platform so they can come on here and kind of tell their story and see, just tell us where they see themselves coming up, and when they go to high school, college, just give a platform. So I got my and so it's my grandson, Jaden Hampton. He's the quarterback of the Junior Flyers, um, and I'll let him tell y'all all about that. So, hey, welcome Jaden to the show. Uh, all right, all right. So, Jaden, go ahead and talk to the people. Tell them little bit about yourself, and and what you think about this game of football, and how your season going, and just everything.
I started at a young age and playing for the Junior Flies up since I was like a little baby. Like I started from like 7 years all the way up to now.
So you started playing when you were 7. You 7 years old, or
I started when I was 5.
when you was 5? Okay, and what was that like? You know,
My dad, like when I was young, he put a lot of pressure on me, like I can get better and stuff like that. So like he had me playing up my whole life.
okay. So when you say he put a lot of pressure on you, as far as like at the quarterback position, or just to playing football in general, or just talk about that a little bit.
It was basically so like I can get better at like the sport that I'm playing, like like this.
Okay. So what? So you started playing at a young age. You said 5. 5 years old. So what have you learned? Up until now, when you first started playing, what what progression? The progression. You see yourself? Have you seen yourself get better every year, or how is that?
I feel like I learned something every day. Like throughout the years, I feel like I be getting better and like gaining.
All right, you say gaining. And speaking of which, you gaining any weight? Because you look like you need to gain a little weight. That young fellow, you playing the quarterback position. You got the big lineman, coming at you. So and so you plan on putting on weight. You want to.
It's something I'm getting.
So right now you're in what grade? 8th grade. So next year you'll be in high school. But let's just stay right here in the present right now. So this season. Well, let me go back. No, if I can, and I can recollect because I kind of was there with you. So early on in your I guess I want to say career, your youth career, you had a lot of success. You was on on some good teams, and I believe you won a couple of championships. Coming up. So, but the last couple of years been kind of rough. So what's been the difference, and how you been? How has that been? With you as far as mentally? Know, what do you say about your when you first started, you had really good teams, and now the team is, you've been struggling. Last year was really rough. Just kind of talk about that.
I feel like we been playing tougher teams. Like I got older. I feel like other teams like gaining.
When you say gaining, I mean gaining as far as just like talent, or just gaining, Gaining on you as far as skill wise? I mean, what do you mean when you say gaining?
I feel like other teams been like with each other for like a long time. Like like our kids like split up. So like this year we got like all new kids.
Okay, so you saying that a lot of the kids that you started off with, you're not with anymore. They kind of moved on to
Yeah,
different teams,
yeah,
and and so now you dealing with a lot of new faces and new places, and that make it, so well actually, I know last year was a really tough season. You took a beating. You took a beating. It was a so you talk about that, about the physicality of the game, and how that made you feel, and just the mental, just your mental aspect after taking a lot of hits last year.
like I got hurt that year, so I hurt my elbow. Yeah,
Mhm.
lineman, like they wasn't that good thing. And
Well,
like that summer, we didn't like practice as much as we did.
okay, okay. Well, when you say the old lineman wasn't that good, was that because they were some first year linemen,
Yeah,
and
that was
they,
first
they
year.
were just learning the game, learning the position, learning the physicality, just trying to get used to all of that. So it wasn't a thing where you trying to put them down. You just saying that they just
They
weren't
weren't experienced.
experienced. Okay, and last year was a 7U, so seventh grade. So like going against a lot of kids that been playing for a while, and so yeah, and that's that's a part of it also. So on to this year. So now this year, it's kind of been. I mean, from what I see, it's kind of been up and down. Um, Looked like when they constructed the team, and the offensive line, it looked like it was going to be an issue again, but it looks like that's kind of the strength, one of the strengths of your team. What do you think about the line this year versus the line last year, as far as protection? And are they protecting you more, a lot better, or is it, how's that?
But they probably like give me more time. That's like like all I mean, we got on from like different teams, some like different teams and stuff. So like, I feel like they have more experience than the O line.
Okay, so you feel like the line this year is better than it was last year, and they give you more time to look down the field, throw the ball. Okay, and just looking at it, I kind of tend to agree with that. So, well, let me ask you, Jaden. This is your last year of youth football. Where do you see yourself next year? When you going to high school, what you thinking?
I'm on the east side, so it's probably gonna be a rough year because they got a lot of good players. So I'm gonna have to work my way up. Stay dedicated.
Oh, okay. So that's a news flash. So you go on the east side. So that's kind of hot off the press. So is that set in stone, or is that something that's debatable, or you that's where you want to go?
It's probably debatable. The reason why I like really want to go there is 'cause my dad went there. I'm debating.
Okay. Well, you want to follow in your dad's footsteps, but sometimes you got no young fella. You got to make your own. So you got um, East Side is a big school. You can get lost in the sauce. You got to come with it. So what you ready for that?
Yeah, when I get older, like grow, I probably grow in it.
Okay, so you thinking, so you're hoping for a growth spurt, this summer.
Yes.
Well, well your arms look a little thin there, buddy. What you gonna do about that?
Stay in the gym, like this summer, you saw be having they workouts at like 6 o'clock in the morning. My dad be waking me up.
Okay, so so we'll just let's stay with the Flyers. So so you thinking you want to be an East Side Flyer? So what and then you said you wanted to follow behind your dad because he went there. But if I remember correctly, he also went to Beverly East. So is that something you considering too?
Nah, not
So other than East St. Louis Flyer, what other school do you see yourself possibly being going to?
no. After the Matthew Dickey game, they said Live for Life wanted me to come to their school.
Okay. Well, what about the Crusade Altoff? I know I heard some talk about that. That's not something that you. That's not a school you're interested in.
I feel like they lost everybody. They lost their running back too. So
Well, well, everybody lose, but they get good. They it's about replenishing the stock. So East St. Louis. So that's those some that'll be some competition for you. That's something that you think you're ready for.
yeah, Zagro, yeah.
Okay. Well, what about next year? You see yourself in East St. Louis, possibly on the JV team.
My JV team for sure. I don't know about varsity.
Okay. I
Well,
mean,
I'll probably just varsity and not play.
yeah. Well, let me ask you, Jaden. So, the quarterback position that's a position that you see yourself playing, in high school, possibly college.
I'll probably like try other positions and see how I like it.
What other positions? When you say trying other positions, what other position you think you might want to try there?
Wide receiver,
That on the defense.
safety for sure. Cause I last game I had 2 picks. I almost returned one back. So I kind of like the safety position a little bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I saw that. So when what's your are you comfortable? You think playing quarterback is so? Let me ask you this: Are you a student? Do you see yourself in high school being a student of the quarterback position? Meaning, looking at the film, studying the other teams, reading the defenses. Is that's a progression. So, what do you think you are in that progression, and do you see yourself, doing those things in high school?
Um, probably, but I don't know yet since like it's like that's a lot of work. So yeah,
I mean, hey, if you want to play any position you play is going to be a lot of work, but the quarterback position is the toughest position.
I'll probably say quarterback probably the most because
Yes,
you got to worry about everything and like where
right.
yeah.
That's right. So that's what I'm asking you. Do you think that's something that you can handle? You've been playing that position, since you was 5 years old. It should be a progression. Do you think you see a progression in your skills and your knowledge in the position? Like, do you see yourself every year learning something about the position to where one day in high school that's something that you could play?
I feel like I progressed on like how to read defenses and stuff like that, and I feel like I progressed off of that because I could tell what defense like the other team in based on how they like spread out in the safeties on how they like far deep or like close to the line. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I'm so you saying you got you have a progression. You see yourself learning every year the position, learning some more, and putting that away and keeping that up here to where you can apply that to the game, to the practice, on the field, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probably, or it is. You got to know. Now, you want to play quarterback. One thing for sure, you got to have some confidence. Because look, one thing for sure, you're gonna throw a pick, but you can't let it get you down. You got to worry about the next. It's always the next play. That's so bad things gonna happen. You just gotta move past those, right?
Yeah, you gotta stay consistent.
Stay consistent and just know that you're gonna make some mistakes and you learn from them and get better, right?
Yeah.
So what are you so what's your goals for next year? Well, for next year, your freshman year at Eastside or whatever school you're going to. What's your goals?
Uh, I'll probably say to like get stronger and get bigger and stuff like that, and like progress off what I'm doing
Okay.
and learn more.
Okay. Well, you think your arm strength looks like it's gotten stronger since last year. So do you feel like that's the case, or you think
Yo, my dad said like he said I'm probably better than the JV quarterback that's like playing right now. That's what he be saying.
Well, what you think? You seen the JV quarterback play? You think you can hold your own?
Yeah, for sure. Cause like they said, first game he dropped like 10 snaps.
Well, I mean that's that. I mean that can happen. So this is I would give you some advice. Don't worry about that. You just got to worry about yourself. Just worry about getting your skills ready to roll when it's time. When your number call, you got to be ready. So that's what I would say. That's what I would say to you. So you know what else? Anything else you want to say to the you want to say, kind of put it out there about yourself and what you like doing, or anything.
I'm a multi sport athlete, so like I like basketball and track.
Oh,
That's my options.
okay. So let's talk about that. So basketball season coming up.
Yeah.
So what do you what do you see your team this year? So it looked like you probably gonna be the leader of the group. So what you think?
I feel like we got a better team than last year because like we actually got a center this year. He from Grant, I think.
Okay. Okay. So when does when does that kick off? Practice or
We
tryouts?
got tryouts. I think next week for sure, and then after that, he said he would post a schedule out and stuff like that, and who he playing, yeah, and stuff like that.
Okay. So what team you look forward to playing against, once the basketball season start? What team who you when you get that schedule, what team do you say, man, I can't wait till I see this team? Is it
West?
West?
Yeah.
Oh. So why West? Is it something? Is that because is that like a rivalry, or is that just something?
It's not like a rivalry. They always beat us. I want to beat them this year. For sure.
Okay. Well, there it is. So you circle West on the calendar. I don't know if you play them once or twice, but I'm gonna circle it on my calendar for sure. So that way you know what you got to do. And what about the track? I know you said track. So I know last year we talked about the hurdles. You think you're ready for that?
I never did it. I never tried it out. Like as I used to. My uncle said I should do it, but I don't really like it.
Well, I mean, if you ain't tried it, you don't know if you like it or not. So you can't say you don't like it if you ain't never tried it. So hey, give it a hoop. You never know. Anything else you want to say? Before we conclude this session.
I don't got nothing to say.
All right. Hey, y'all. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to the Crook Report. Yeah. So we'll be back again next week for the Crook Report. Thank you.